Not sure if it's the right. Let me switch it up. No, that's not it. I think so. Oh no. Hi everybody. I think my light is not very bright today. I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, hello everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hi everyone. What's going on? TJ, I'm on my live show. Keep it down. Hi everybody. Hi everyone. Happy Thursday. This here. Okay. Let's see. Make it much better. Hi everyone. Happy Thursday. What's going on, people? What's going on? Happy Thursday. Hello, Miss Professor. How are you? What's going on? Happy Thursday. Y'all, I always like going to hey, Miss Gibson, how are you? Hello. The boys are good. We just came back home from dinner. Took my babies out. Happy Thursday, Olive Beauty Empire. Happy Thursday to you as well. I scheduled an appointment for my big sister for the 16th. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the referral. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Hello, Miss Tina. 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I'm very, very grateful. That's for sharing so much great content. Thank you. Thank you. God bless each and every one of you. The outpouring of love is always amazing. So I do not take it for granted. Happy Thursday, everybody. Come on in. Say hello when you come on. Not see my handsome nephew, TJ. Hi TJ. Hey T. He's listen. Let's just leave him alone. But he's doing well. He is on summer break. TJ. He's playing his game. Summer break. Most schools are out, right? Thank you. Most schools, I live in the South. Most schools in the South are already out for summer. So we do I alternate summer break with him, with his dad, I should say. So that's usually the time I look forward to getting some break for myself. Hey, Miss Eleanor Sanctuary, how are you? Welcome. Coming in, everyone. If you're just joining us for the first time, let us know where you're joining in from, what city, what state, what country. Did I cut my hair? No, I just rebraided my hair. So whenever I rebraid my hair, it makes my face look pulled back. And then when it's, when the humidity, when it becomes more humid, it soaks in moisture, and then I start to look like SpongeBob. Then it starts to swell, and then it gets real big, like SpongeBob. Yeah, gotta love natural hair. You just gotta love it. So, but yeah. But anyway, thank you, appreciate it. Welcome. This week went pretty fast. I'm thinking of what to do with this, kids. We're still gonna get well. I don't have any option for you because until his afterwife starts looking like SpongeBob because it soaks everything up. For those of you who have young kids for summer, been there, done that. That's why I know I ain't babysitting nobody's kid. Like if you think that you want, I told my sister-in-law, I love your kids, love them like nobody's business. But please understand, if you intend to come and visit me and leave your kids with me, you're going to be doing yourself a disservice. You're going to risk being the child services being called. We listen, we don't judge. If you want to judge yourself. You're going to risk calling child services because I am not babysitting nobody's kid. I've paid my dues, don't have no baby to babysit. So, like Auntie Muruku, yes, I pay somebody to do it. I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. That's not the stage of life I'm in. Babysitting, no. Drive. So let's just leave it alone. But anyway, this is attorney episode. Y'all think I'm kidding. You'll see. Immigration attorney based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all 50 states. If you've got an immigration case, if it's a case that we handle, we can and do represent immigration clients regardless of the state you live in. we will be glad to represent you. Um, yeah, it is. Okay, what did I say? It's big butterfly. So connected to your old tattoo. Big butterfly, and then it's got Psalm 23. That's what it is. Do represent immigration clients in all 50 states. 334-341-4475. Last name will be sorry. Maybe see this. I got many talents. Babysitting is not one of the ones that I choose to have. Because of some talents you can develop, that's not one. No, don't leave your kids with me. I love your kids, but I love them from afar. Just saying. Listen, y'all know me to be very, very transparent and honest. Can't lie. If you want to judge, that's on you. 334-341-4475. Visit our website at @𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓.com. TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube at 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 Immigration. Please subscribe, share, follow, like. We would very much appreciate that. Let's build a community. Let's keep building a community of positivity, encouragement. Sometimes we share not so good news, like I had to share not so good news to someone today. Their I-751 was denied. Conversely, I had to share great news with someone whose I-751 was also approved after 5 years. So, we just, we still give God the glory. God remains God. He doesn't change his worth. He doesn't lose his worth because something doesn't go our way. If anything, that just tells us that's not expected and to keep believing and to keep hoping. So once again, contact us 334-341-4475, info@𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓.com. We'll be glad to represent you. Let's talk immigration. Yes, join live sessions on YouTube, TikTok, LinkedIn, sometimes Instagram, on Facebook, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, to learn more about immigration policy and also a Q&A session with you. Are you sure I'm not paying you that I'm not aware of? Isn't this actually? Is someone from my team paying you that they didn't tell me? That is so professionally done. Are you sure you're not on my payroll? Who's about to get fired? Somebody. But anyway, let's talk immigration, y'all. It's been a lot going on in the news. If you've been listening, anybody been watching this 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕? You don't know what I'm talking about, right? 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. Bàbá olójú pípọ́n àti bàbá tó gbọ́ láti ìyẹn tí wọ́n náà òyìnbó láti Africa. It's it is a fiasco. It's get your popcorn. Like, that's what it is. Like, maybe finally we'll figure out how they got in the office. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just see. Let's just see what happens. But anyway, in the immigration world, there's quite a bit going on. So let's talk about that. What we're talking about tonight. So many updates, arrest, ban, and more. This is not to make you afraid. This is not to, this is not, fear mongering, as some people, because when you tell the truth, I'm like, no, I don't come on to talk things that are not backed up with evidence and facts. Okay, this is to let you be aware of what's going on. And talking of being aware, congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. I. For those who have always wondered, and I have quite a number of people consult with me on that issue. Let me digress real quick. For those who have always wondered, like, can I remarry my spouse and petition for them? We're in the process of getting a divorce, and we applied for visa together at the embassy because it was the thought that coming to the United States, maybe we'll a different atmosphere. We'll be able to reconcile and see if our marriage will work. But anyway, I digress. We got here and we couldn't reconcile, so we had to finalize the divorce, and everybody married each other. Okay, that's line number one, but whatever, let's keep going. And then they want to marry everybody. Right? So one of you got hello, Miss Daniela. One of you got your green card and became a citizen, and then all of a sudden you rekindled your love. Like, I should make that together. I should come back together. Sad eye. But So, and then you come to me and like you say, like, okay, I want to file for my husband. I want to file for my wife, my former husband, now my current husband. Is it going to raise red flags? Is it possible? Can we do it? I get that almost. There's no way that I don't get a consultation regarding that matter. So, Mr. and Mrs. I, their case is the typical case of they were married before, they got divorced, they couldn't reconcile. I know he's probably watching me now and rolling his eyes and laughing. But we had a consultation. That was their main concern. Like, okay, what's going to happen? Like, listen, there's nothing that says you cannot remarry your spouse. It happens. People go in separate ways and then they come back together, whatever the circumstances. But thank God, we filed their case. Well, I filed a case for now. We filed their case sometime last year, I want to believe. Interview was interview was Tuesday, case approved yesterday. So congratulations to Mr. and Mrs. I on the approval of the green card. Funny thing is he filed for his kids and he did that way before we filed for his wife, and her case is not approved. The kids' case their cases are still pending. I'm sure they will approve them soon. But for those who have been wondering, if I remarry my ex-spouse and not file for them, can I still do it? Yes. You just have to make sure you tell a story. For instance, one of the things I always say is that you include an affidavit, explain why you even got divorced in the first place, why you came back together, or how you came back together, the kids, you're raising kids together, tell the story that is believable, because they're going to ask you during your interview. But it just depends on how you put your case together. And that is what we do, and we do it well. So we thank God that we're celebrating with them. So if you've ever wondered, is that possible? There you go. Okay, so let's start with updates, arrests. If you have been listening to the news, there's so many arrests going on in immigration courts as well as in USCIS office, field offices. All right, who are those who are at risk of being arrested? Now, there's there's nothing for certain. Anything can happen. There's ICE showing up. Even in my small town where I live, I'm telling you, ICE showed up at one of the restaurants that had mainly Asians and invaded that restaurant. I live in a very small town, so you can imagine. So, but in immigration court, what we're seeing more of is this. There are people who have, especially those who have been in the country less than 2 years and have immigration court hearings. ICE really, and this is factually based, they're working with DHS attorneys, the Office of the Principal Legal Advisor, DHS attorney, and because they have the docket, they have the court here, they're going to be the ones in court. They're able to provide information to ICE of those who are on the docket, those cases that they know are going to be dismissed. And so that gives ICE an opportunity to know that if that person, especially if the person has been in the country for less than 2 years, they are not doing expedited removal. And so they go to court, immigrants go into court. When the case gets dismissed, normally and typically a dismissal it's always been a good thing. Everybody wants to get out of court. So you can pursue someone, an I-130 that someone has filed for you, or if you qualify to file a VA petition, or you can file asylum with USCIS, whatever the case may be. What they've turned it into now is ICE agents are now in immigration court, where if an immigration judge now dismisses a case and that person has not been in the country for more than 2 years, then they're turning them over to ICE to be detained and expeditedly removed from the country. So you're looking at it like, okay, if I go to court, I should be happy that I'm no longer, I'm able to go back to USCIS to continue my case. That's not what's happening. And so it's unfortunate, but that is the reality of what we're seeing. So it's just best to know, and I've had some colleagues that have actually streamlined their practices to just remove the fence. Some of my clients are being referred to them because they can be, I'm not taking chances of when I have a court hearing coming up, unless it's an internet-based hearing. If I have an in-person hearing coming up, I'm not taking chances of filing to attend the hearing through WebEx, unless it's a master calendar hearing or something. But if there's going to be a chance that case may be dismissed, then I'm actually referring my clients or having colleagues standing for me in person, because that's going to be more proactive. It's what makes my colleagues being in a boots on ground kind of situation, being able to or make an argument why that person should not be detained, why they should be able to allow them to go home. In spite of that, some people are still being detained. So then you're wondering, should I not go for my immigration hearing then? But you cannot not go for your hearing. And here's why. If you are scheduled to go to have a hearing, you have to attend your hearing. If you do not show up to court, then you are going to be ordered removed in absentia. So basically, the immigration judge is going to enter an order of removal against you. And that gives ICE even much more authority to come arrest you and remove you, because now they actually have an order to remove you from the country. So it's almost like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. But you just have to appear, make sure you appear with your immigration attorney. Argue against dismissal, because dismissal doesn't necessarily mean it is in anyone's favor right now, unless you are at the point where you've got a pending case with USCIS, and that case has been administratively closed. And the only basis by which USCIS will reopen your case is if that, because your case in court has to be dismissed and terminated in order for them to reopen and regain jurisdiction. So there are arrests going on in immigration court. There are also arrests going on in field offices. And here's another twist. If people who have, for instance, someone who's an example would be someone who came into the country as an arriving alien, right? USCIS has exclusive jurisdiction to adjudicate green card applications for arriving aliens. Even if that arriving alien has a removal order in court, they still have jurisdiction to adjudicate that. It's always been that someone who got the green card as an arriving alien can sometimes move ahead with filing for citizenship. That hasn't been an issue where they come for and they invite ICE to USCIS office so that they can come arrest the person. What we're seeing now is those who, and if you go on USCIS, if you go on Facebook or Instagram, even the USCIS pages, you see, shamelessly them posting pictures of immigrants being arrested at field offices. So if you've got if you got a criminal record, you've got something, a removal order, you're not sure, you may want to make sure you do a FOIA request of your records, have someone help you do a search of the ER website if you don't know how to do that. Just be sure there's no citation, there's no pending criminal case against you, there's no dismissed case. But then, even though it was dismissed, maybe you had a conditional dismissal. Just make sure your record is straight before you go to USCIS. And another thing USCIS is now doing is this: for marriage-based cases, it's sad. For marriage-based cases, they are now looking into, it's a nightmare. They're looking into the record of petitioning spouses. Not even just the immigrants now. They're looking into records of petitioning spouses. If that petitioning spouse has an outstanding warrant or pending case, or maybe a failure to appear in court, they are calling the local enforcement office, because this is not about ICE now. This is the citizen who's filing for a spouse. They're calling local law enforcement agents to arrest that petitioning spouse and then deschedule or cancel the interview that was scheduled. And God help the immigrants if they don't have any, because if they deschedule your case, obviously your case is still pending, but now the petitioning spouse is being led away in cuffs. That's what happened. I think in 2 or 3 USCIS offices in the last 2 weeks that has occurred. So they're not just looking into records of immigrants, they're looking into the background of the petitioning spouse to see if that person has any outstanding warrants, and then calling local enforcement agents, law enforcement agents, to arrest the petitioning citizen spouse. Then that's the end of your case. Everything to just undermine immigrants. So be aware of that. Travel ban. Okay, so we've seen the first wave of the travel ban executive order that was signed yesterday. It's not surprising. I think most of the countries, if not all, the countries on the list were already there during their first term. There is speculation that there will be additional, hello Alan Gell, additional countries added to the list. What countries those were going to be, we don't know yet. But the ones that have been confirmed are the ones that were already signing part of the executive order yesterday. If you go on our page on our social media platforms, all the list of the countries are there. I know that Haiti is one, Laos is one. I believe, let me go, hold on one second, and know that now there are some countries that have complete total ban. I think there's about 12 countries that have total bans, and then 7 countries have it's not full restrictions. There are restrictions, but not complete restrictions. Now, there are exceptions to all the combined 19 countries. There are exceptions. So we've got Somalia, we've got Iran, we've got Haiti, we've got Libya, we've got Sudan, we've got Sierra Leone is one of those countries that doesn't have a total ban, but it's got restrictions. But in all of those 19 countries, there are exceptions to those who can still travel. If you are someone who is an immediate relative of a U.S. citizen that the petition forces you, the spouse, parents, or underage minor child, then those group of people are not restricted. If you are someone who already has a green card, but you're from one of those countries, you're not going to be denied entry into the United States generally. If you are someone who is on a non-immigrant visa from any of those countries and that visa has not expired, they're not going to revoke that visa. You can still go coming in and out. If you are someone who is physically present in the United States from any of those countries, you're not going to be restricted from doing like a change of status while you're physically present in the United States. So those are some of the restrictions, some of the exceptions to that. So let's see what else. So we've talked about arrest for immigrants and even petitioning spouse, travel ban, arrest in court, arrest by USCIS, and then, asylum cases. Now, let you, one of the fastest ways we're seeing of people being placed in removal proceedings and then expedited removal is for those who are filing new asylum cases. If you're filing a new asylum case, do not be surprised if you get scheduled for an interview rather quickly. I'm not even kidding you. They're scheduling interviews, and that's why those who have cases pending since 2016, 2017, 2018, you're still going to experience quite a bit of backlog because they're not focusing on scheduling interviews for those cases filed 7, 8, 9 years ago. They are scheduling interviews for cases filed recently. Why? They are trying to make sure that if you file your asylum case, you're not getting that, if they have a basis to deport you, then that's what they're doing. If they have a basis to deny you that asylum application with USCIS and immediately put you in immigration court and try to fast track your case in court so you can be deported, that's what they're doing. And one of the goals is to prevent people from being able to get work authorization. Now, truth be told, a lot of people file asylum applications. Some people do not really have any basis. I can't even tell you how many times I turned down after I get a consultation and people, I do quite a number of asylum cases. People consult with me and say, hey, since lawyer moon, your story, I mean, let my help and that's your story. Like, no, see, I work too hard for my license, and I'm not sure what attorneys you've been talking to. I'm not one of those attorneys who make up stories for you for asylum. That is not only is it illegal, it's unethical for any lawyer to do. So if by the time you're telling me you don't have a story or you're not sure, I've already made up my mind. That's not going to be a case I'm going to get involved in. But some people generally have cases that persecution grounds and all that. If you are filing asylum, note something. You may end up getting your interview rather quickly. So if you have a basis to file all your evidence at the same time. Make sure you're obviously filing within the statutory period, but be sure you've got your credible evidence to back up your case, or because a denial of asylum application with USCIS without a backup status is an automatic placement in deportation proceedings. But another thing they're trying to do, which they haven't confirmed, or they have not put into, it's not in effect yet. The travel ban goes into effect on Monday, June 9. What is not in effect yet, however, is they have proposed this. When I say this administration, they're proposing to actually pause work authorization eligibility for those who apply for asylum applications. Not trying to scare anyone, I'm just trying to make sure you're aware of what's going on. So that is one of the goals on their agenda right now, to find a way to pause. And so that's why I'm telling anyone who cares to listen that he was the one, this guy in office was one who extended the time frame asylum seekers had to wait before they could apply for work authorization to 365 days. And then when Biden came, he put it back at 150 days. It's still 150 days right now, but I'm sure that until they're able to, I'm almost certain that until they're able to figure out a way to completely eliminate, work authorization eligibility for asylum seekers, it's most likely going to be extended the length of time people have to wait before they can file work authorization based on asylum. So if you're still sitting on the fence, as long as you've got a credible basis to file for asylum, the policy is still 150 days. Take advantage of that for right now, so that you're not shocked and when you come back and either extend that or they completely eradicate work permit eligibility for asylum seekers. So those are the updates for tonight. As you know, there's a lot of things going on, but the one thing I love about this whole Yale kind of fight that these two guys are having is they said they want to release Iyali. Which one is Iyali? Iyawo's immigration record, and I want to see it because we suspect that he actually overstayed on his student visa at some point when he came from South Africa. So, I want to see it. Let's see it. We ain't opposed to that. But in all seriousness, those are the updates that you should be aware of, and that's all she wrote. Okay, let's get to as many questions as we can. It's not 8:58. All right. Questions, responses to your questions are just general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. So let's see. And congratulations to Miss S.A. I think she also got, we didn't represent her with her citizenship, but she also scheduled for naturalization. She's 751 was filed in 2020. I came on board in 2023. That's one of the most patient clients I've ever had. I mean, I don't even think I have half the patience she has. But then again, she has children that she has to worry about. So we thank God for His grace and His mercy. Okay. Let's see how the boys, because they are doing well. We thank God. East Coast is still in school. Okay. Y'all, well, I think y'all don't start school year until after Labor Day. We usually start second week in August, end of first or second week in August. So yeah, I think everyone stays in school for about the same length of time. Okay, let's see. Hello, Miss Collins. How are you? Time to enjoy, relax, and have fun. Well, that's what they think, but then it's a whole lot of work for parents. Hello, Miss Christiana. How are you? How's everybody? How are the children? Shalom, everybody. Wow. Good evening. Only immigration cases need to talk to you about two issues. Outside of Alabama, only immigration cases. If it's anything outside, if it's not immigration related, then you have to be someone who lives in my state. If not, I can't help you with anything else. How about when you turn to your grandma? Although I saw 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕, no. Is that what they say? Yeah. Although I saw 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒕. I am not still babysitting nobody's kid. I will go see them. They can come see me. I'm not. Listen, my boys already know. You think I'm kidding? We'll be doing live show from the island. You'll see. I don't think you understand the kind of how my brain works. Good evening, ma'am. Just did my marriage-based green card application interview in Houston. The interview was about 40 minutes. It went really, really well. All right, good. I was given a paper of notice of my interview results with item 1. Liz Mark, still haven't heard from USCIS. How soon do you think I should expect the good news from USCIS? I pray you get good news, but I can't speculate to how soon you should expect the good news from them. Okay. Hello, Miss Joe. How are you? She like I'm well, thank you. That's kind of your but I can understand. When you're making very long, it might lose me real quick. With the new crackdown on visa overstays, what are the implications for people who, with pending I-485s who fall under this category? Is any of this retrogressive? No, it's not retroactive. It's not. There's no policy about overstay. I mean, the whole point of going to a USCIS office and having an interview is because you've overstayed and you're trying to. Well, most people, some people still have statuses, but you're trying to get permanent residency. I mean, like I said, so. In spite of everything that is still ongoing and going on, with immigration and all that, the truth of the matter is, USCIS is still adjudicating cases. USCIS is still adjudicating cases. They're still working. Cases are being approved. I still had and another I-751, not Miss S. another I-751 that was approved without interview. So they're still adjudicating cases, but it's just that rather than USCIS mind the business that pays them, they're getting themselves roped into all of this. And sometimes you read their posts and you feel sorry for them because you know how you feel like you're reading something that someone put you up to, like someone is making you to do it. And yeah, you can feel the sense of that. Like these people are working for the government and obviously working for the people in power right now. So it's like, well, we don't have a choice. We got to post this stuff because we're being told to do that. But they're still working. So there's still hope. It's not like everything is just going. I mean, like I said, Mr. and Mrs. Those kind of cases are the ones that raise red flags usually. But God is still in control. At the end of the day, there's nothing anyone can do when God's favor is upon you. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. General information, general response is 903. 903. Hello, Miss Yabo. How are you? Greetings. I still have some work to do tonight. What happened if my visa has expired? I was overstayed, but I have a green card now. So what happens in what sense? What happens to what? Will withdrawing I-485 trigger an NTA? It may. There's no telling what anything is going to do this day today. But what is the basis of you withdrawing it? Can I call you a CIS office and I work permit? You can call them for anything you want to call them for and ask and making clear about your pending case. Okay, please do not repeat questions. That would be very, very appreciated. Please do not repeat questions. If you repeat, I'm going to skip your question. I mean, you have a repeat question. I want to answer it. I have a pending bar and I-485, 5-year EAD, no criminal record, but overstayed visa years back. So what's your question? What's your question? What about if you're released by ICE under the Trump administration? Can your case still be dismissed? Can your case still be dismissed from where? I'm not sure. Dismissed from the court, released by ICE. What exactly? I'm not really sure what you're asking. Can you apply for a green card after marrying a citizen, even though you have pending immigration case? What immigration case do you have pending, and what are you trying to? What do you have pending? Let's start from there. Anything about how long something is going to take, whether at the National Visa Center or with USCIS, that's another question I can answer. And for USCIS, you can go on uscis.gov/processing times. Is it advisable to move from one state to another when asylum case has been removed from schedule? What schedule? You mean from the court docket? Very dark woman. It's interesting. Do you mean if it has been removed from the court's active docket? Is that what you're asking? Okay. Very dark woman. I would have answered your question if you responded, but now that I see you put it 4 times, I'm going to skip it. Cannot go on anything about traveling. Please talk to a lawyer that is on your case, because that person, a lawyer on your case, knows your case, because they're working on it. But travel is just very sensitive now. Even domestic travel is very, very sensitive. So I'm just more comfortable advising my clients because I'm aware of what is in their file and what may or may not be an issue. I have 2 clients who just came back, one from Ghana, one from Nigeria, last week on advanced parole with no issues. But I know their cases, so I wasn't worried. But I still was on standby when they were coming back, just in case, because you just never know. My brother had 2. Okay, so here we go with brother and sister and friend. Had 2 speeding tickets in the past 3 years. There was no arrest. It's a safe to and okay to do in 400. Generally, that should be general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. Generally, that shouldn't affect anything unless he's got like an outstanding payment or a student or fine that he didn't pay. But if he has any reservation before he files, he may be better off, your brother may be better off meeting with an attorney first. Okay. What about me that my 10 years was denied and be in removal proceedings cannot get? So you are in removal proceedings now, I take it. Otumba, is that what you're saying? If the judge closed my removal with approved I-130 interview schedule for, I should not be scared. There's nothing I've said tonight that says anyone should be scared about anything. This is just information so you know. But if you already have an approved I-130 and your case was closed, so was terminated, so you can apply for your and you have your I-45 green card interview scheduled. If there's nothing else in your record that should be alarming, then I don't see any reason why your case should not be approved. General information, I'm not talking, I'm just saying generally that would be what I would expect in your case. Okay. This is 6 months RFP was submitted and still never heard anything. Is this normal? There's nothing abnormal or normal with USCIS, to be honest with you. Okay, Otumba, I would have answered your question when I asked it, but since you put it like 5 times, I'm going to skip it. Can you please do not repeat questions? I think I said that every single time. I'm not really sure why it's. Okay. Can children who are born in the U.S. over 40 years file for their parents who have okay, user 708999669. I have no clue what you're asking. I'm not sure if you want to rephrase your question. Okay. I am asylum seeking and married an American. I'll apply for a green card. Do I have to leave U.S. to get it? If you're getting married to a U.S. citizen and you came in legally, meaning you came in with a visa, and you're paroled in, you are admitted, then you don't necessarily have to leave even if you've overstayed. If you didn't come in with any documentation, then you're not eligible unless you're filing like a VAW case or something. I'm an LPR. I have an approved petition of. I'm an LPR having approved petition for my wife from banned country. What I have to. You're welcome. I'm an LPR. Have an approved petition for my wife. Okay, so if you have an approved petition for your wife, then she should fall within one of the people exempted from the ban. So I'm not, without knowing your specific case, but generally she should fall within the exemptions. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ojo. We'll try me. Good. Good news, Max Ojo. You don't have to come on my page. Actually, let me do you a favor and get you out. What I wear is none of your business. If you don't like it, you can go to another page. All right. Don't like it, keep it moving. I don't think that you have to pay to be on Facebook on my page. I don't think you've met me. I'm not one of those you can bully online. I will meet you right where you are. Okay, let's see. Thanks for sharing so much. You're welcome. I appreciate that. Just one more day till the weekend. Who's counting? Well, I am too. Can't believe we have 10 weeks of summer break. Okay, so you can't believe, Ms. Understand, you cannot believe because you're trying to figure out what to do with the kids, or you can't believe because it's not long enough. Which one? Hey, Miss Malabi, how are you? Listen. Smart Wears, thank you for joining from Maryland. How long does VA cases take? So that much I can tell you that VA petition. So a lot of people are saying, okay, yeah, VA cases are taking 40 to 42 months and all that. Let me clarify. VA cases, the VA petition, the I-360 standalone petition by itself, it's the one that's taking now 42.5 months. So we're talking just a little shy, 6 months shy. It's 3.5 years. Yeah, thereabout. But that is just the VA petition. When that is now approved, after that is approved, then USCIS, Vermont Service Center, transfers your file to the National Visa Benefit Center. They decide if you're going to be scheduled for an interview, or they're just going to send you an RFP for your medical and receive it and approve your card. So when you say how long does VA cases take, keep in mind that there are 2 stages to it. There's the VA I-360 processing stage, which is what the 42.5 months refers to. And then you now start the green card process. Okay. Oh, you're talking about widowers petition. Go on USCIS.gov. 1 second. Why is 751 taking so long? Will they keep sending extension letter while the person you'll keep they won't keep sending extension letter though. You should have received the 4-year extension notice, and that's because they went from 18 months to 24 months to 4 years because it was taking that long. But if you are waiting 4 years, then you would have to apply, call in, or do an online request through your account, apply for an I-94, or go to a USCIS office and get a stamp in your passport. Thank you, Miss Jimmy. Okay, let's see. Trying to see. Let's see. Okay. Not sure about the Elon Trump feud. Seems fake, but we'll see. Listen, I don't. There's so much that I mean, Elon already said that if that's fake, that would be really, really, to say the extent is. Oh no. Anyway, I'm just gonna be quiet. What's your advice on the Nigerian divorce decree if USCIS raises an issue on it, questioning the gender? What do you mean? What's my advice? That's very, very a very broad question. What is my advice on what? In what sense? I'm big time late. 𝒂𝒏𝒕. So we love you, 𝒂𝒏𝒕. Love you back, Miss Peggy. Can the priority date be added to val? What do you mean, can the priority date be added to val? I'm not really sure I understand that question. Your priority date is going to be your priority date. Every case has a priority date. Your priority date is when you filed it. Sometimes if you had an I-130 that you were the beneficiary of, then they will transfer the priority date from that I-130 to your val petition. But I'm not really sure what you mean by priority date for I-45 is approaching currently on J1 visa. Please, any advice? Any advice as far as what? Advice, smart wares, advice regarding what? Y'all need to ask me specific questions so that I'm very clear what you're asking. If I'm filing for adjustment of status and I don't file the travel permit form, will that affect my green card application? No, you don't have to. Oh no, yeah, listen. The thing is, sometimes I'm Nigerian. You can. Don't like what I wear. Get off. Sometimes this professional life just has to, because my mouth runs more than. Look, I like to wear like okay. Anyway, I filed I-751 jointly with my wife. 5 months after I filed, she moved out of where we're living. I don't know where she lives. Will this affect my condition removal that we filed jointly? Yes, you may be better off. You will be better off seeing an attorney and figuring out what waiver you would qualify to transfer your case to. Because and on that question, let me say this. A lot of people don't know that USCIS, if you think they don't know what's going on in your home, they do. Because someone consulted with me today. When she had an interview, it went really bad. She thought she got a 2-year green card. She did it herself. This was for a 751. She's like, okay, nothing is changing. If anything, they had a whole ton of evidence. But her former spouse has access to her house. They've been living together and filed I-751 jointly with the American spouse. American spouse doesn't live, and her, they don't live together anymore. She now lives with her former spouse. And lo and behold, USCIS never paid them a home visit, nothing. Well, she went for the interview. Not only did they tell her a former spouse that she lives with, that comes, they have kids, how often he's at the house, what time he usually comes, what car he drives, and the fact that the American spouse, they know the American spouse doesn't live there. So basically, they've already alleged fraud. You don't want to get in that situation. You want to be proactive. And because if you get if you think that they don't know that your spouse moved out, because you don't know what she's done. She may have changed her address. She may have gotten a new driver's license or moved out of town. If you go to a new DMV and all that, that's information USCIS has readily available to them. The other day, we had an interview. One of my clients, I was telling them like, hey, we have to disclose that your former spouse has filed a new divorce in another state, in addition to the divorce document you've submitted, because even though you're using the other one, USCIS is aware of everything that goes on. And she was like, how would they know? How would they know? Okay. Got to the interview. They did not, this guy, and as frustrating as was that he didn't have the file, not to even know what documents we had in the file. He knew that my client's former spouse had filed a new divorce in the state where he lives, and exactly what county and exactly when the divorce judgment was final. They know. So do yourself a favor and consult with a lawyer and see what waiver ground you qualify for. Say louder for those at the back, Mr. Sanctuary. She is little, but she's the lower, little but mighty. Listen, don't even know me. You haven't met me. Currently have a valid J1. Okay, NIW was approved. Okay, any advice on how fast to apply? Well, there's no how fast to apply. You're just going to apply when your priority date becomes current. There's nothing you can do until the priority becomes current. But the question I have for you, smart wares, is you're on a J1. Are you subject to the 2-year home residency rule? Because if you're subject to the 2-year home residency rule, no matter how quickly your priority date comes, if you haven't gotten a waiver, you can't get a green card. So I would hope that you've already taken care of that. Yeah, I know your job would not extend your J1, and I don't know how long you have 5 years on the J1, but I'm not sure how what year you're in right now. But it's not even just about extending the Okay, so if you're subject to the 2-year rule, have you filed a waiver? If you haven't filed a waiver, you can't get a green card. So that's what you should spend your time doing right now, because you can't get a green card. You cannot adjust your status until you have either gone back to your country of residence to leave out the 2 years, or you've applied for a waiver through the Department of State. So I'm not even worried about your priority dates. The priority date is not going to do anything for you if you haven't received a waiver, because you cannot adjust status without the waiver being granted. Okay. On an H-1B visa, my I-485 is pending for 6 months now. Can I get another job with my work? With your work? What do you mean another job with your work? My sister's been here since 1995. Wow, illegally, she's scared to do anything. Is there anything we can do? She needs to sit down with a lawyer to figure out what she may qualify for. My husband got approval letters and waiting for an interview. So how long do you think it takes? Got approval letters. What do you mean got approval letters? Once my daughter is 21 years old, how long the process takes for I'm assuming you mean for her to file for you. Parents applications can take anywhere from 4 months, which is the earliest we've had approval, to about 12 months. Can an adult child born here file for parents with offense? So an adult child born here, is the adult child the one with the criminal record, or is the parent the one with the criminal record? User 770899 ... Is the adult child, the citizen child, the one with the criminal record, or the parent is the one with the criminal record? Which one is it? Hello, Mr. Kim. How are you? Can you handle a case between an immigrant advocate that breach contract with his client? No, that's not the kind of case. That's a part of what I do. Oh, the parents is one. So you're going to have to sit down with the lawyer to figure out if that's going to affect your admissibility as a permanent resident. Okay. What about Ts and Us? Those take a while. I'm an international student about to get married. Is that a good idea? As long as you have good faith evidence, there's nothing that says you can't get married and file. So as long as you have good faith evidence when you're ready to file, then that's obviously general information, nothing specific to anyone's case. Okay. All right. I'm just trying to, because we're almost out of time. My VAW has been approved since June 2024. Congratulations, I've now received my green card. Well, the VAW approved is one thing. The green card is another thing. So what is the status of your green card? Have you submitted your medical? Did you file a green card to start with? Because VAW approved doesn't mean you get a green card issued automatically. So did you file a green card? I'm assuming you did. So what is the status of your green card? So it's not uncommon that it's still, it was just June last year. It's not uncommon that it's still pending as far as the green card itself. Okay, let's see. Hello, Mr. Janedo. How are you? If someone filed for I-130 and 485 together and later filed for VAW and told US has to hold the I-485 or transfer to I-360, but they deny the I-485 is not. And no, is this no? It's not normal. There's nothing abnormal or no USCIs. That's number one. But it's not uncommon for them to ignore that. The good thing is you don't have to pay filing fees for anything related to VAR now. So just file a new I-485 and 30. Yeah. So they did that with my clients, and I was like, I'm going to fight, but I was like, you know what? We're paying filing fees. Let's just file a new one. Okay. Let's see. All right. I think that's about all we can take tonight. Yeah. So smart is, yeah, that's where you need to start. You need to file a waiver, because if you don't get a waiver, you cannot adjust your status. So you just can, unless your AG1 status is not, but if you confirming that you're subjected to your home residency rule, you need a waiver before you can get a green card. All right, people, it's a lot going on. It's a lot going on. The truth of the matter is that's the reality of what we're seeing. But there's nothing that's going on that God is not aware of. At the end of the day, that's the one thing I know for sure. And there's nothing that is about to happen that God doesn't already know, and what the consequences will be. So it doesn't change who He is. It doesn't change who God is, and God remains God. So there's no how He's going to, He is God, that He's on the throne of grace. So there's nothing that's going to happen that's going to be, you're welcome, that's going to inconvenience or cause His own children to live in misery. So I'm a firm believer of, he brought us all the way, and by us I mean all immigrants, to a foreign, a mighty long way, to a foreign land. The Bible says He would never leave us, neither will He forsake us. He's not going to. And you may say, well, what about those who are being deported and all that? It doesn't mean God was not aware. But if your destiny is here, and you have not reached that expected end, regardless of anything going on around you, it's not going to affect you. You're going to be fine. And that which God has purpose for your life has to be fulfilled. The Bible says 1,000 would fall at my side, 10,000 at my right side, but they shall not come near me. Only with my eyes will I behold the reward of the wicked, in spite of what may be going on around you. In spite of people, I've seen people, even someone whose neighbor actually called eyes on them, and to God's glory, the king, the God of visit, but to God's glory, they weren't detained. Their case is still pending. So no matter what the enemy may plan, think they have a trap set for you, they will fall in themselves. So in spite of everything, I saw that says it's easy to fear. It's easy to live in fear. It's easy to be afraid. It's easy to just be paranoid at this point, to be anxious. But do not be anxious for anything, because God remains in control. There's nothing that is ongoing that He's not aware of. And there's no how His own children would suffer that He would not put a stop to it. So let's just take it a day at a time. Keep believing, keep praying for one another. We're going to have many reasons to rejoice. This is our month of never-ending praise, unstoppable breakthroughs. And we've spoken it into existence, and so shall it be. You've got to do is just believe. So keep believing. God is in control. All right, people. We'll see you. What's today? Today's Thursday. I'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. Bye.